Good morning, welcome back to the Khud. This is July 18th, 2022, 9:20 am. Okay, good day today because woke up at 5:30. Everything is nice so far. I'm a bit sleepy but not very sleepy as well. It wasn't really a struggle to get up today because of course yesterday and the day before yesterday was like very easy and relaxing, and I'm not used to so much of ease in life. So of course my mind started to go into like a bit of a panic mode. Talking about the mind pour, I wrote a poem today. It's a little different to what I usually write because it's 3-liners and it's very simple and it just captures that one feeling, one emotion very beautifully. So it goes like, I got a glimpse into what it is like to want to express something but lacking the might. I saw pearls of hope shining in eyes with a deep peace inside, staying unheard despite. I looked away in an attempt to avoid, just to look back again every time I tried. I got one more reason to add to why my complaints make me sad, living this life I've had. Why am I wearing a headphone? I don't know. Just wondering why can't I hear myself properly. Improving in the Khud, I have to sort OBS recordings folder taking too long to load. That's probably because of the fact that it's in the E hard drive, not in the SSD. And why am I off frame? Cubic Worlds, I did do 3.11 robo head modeling today. Important announcement here that from now onwards I am not sticking to doing exactly what Zach is doing in the course, because I scrolled through the course chapters till I think the 11 chapters or so. Idea is that there are a lot of chapters to cover to get to the end of the course, and I can't take forever to get there, right? I will watch the entire video of course, because there are little pieces of nuggets and information that you get, but I will be doing my own thing. As I said in one of the previous videos, I will have a music related scene where instead of the robot there's gonna be a abandoned statue of a musician. So I looked up a few references online on ArtStation. So this is one reference I saw. Other than that, there was this guy with a mic. So I'm gonna make use of these references and model my robot workflow. We unhide the collection we want to work on. We divide it into two screens, okay, 3D viewports, top one and the bottom one. We unhide the collection we want to work on the bottom 3D viewport. Changes done in the bottom viewport will show up in the top one where we pose our instance. The top one will be used for posing. This is one important thing. AE fit to screen equivalent in Blender is home, fit to camera mount. So this one here, if I was to make view camera and I was to just do this, if I press home, that's the same as F1 in After Effects or fit to screen. That's called fit to camera bounds or something. So home. A quick favorites menu is different for edit mode and object mode. Just discovered that. So I had faced this issue earlier as well, where using the edge split modifier and setting to 0 degrees, it doesn't split out all the faces and edges. Apparently you have to apply the modifier, and after applying the modifier you have to deselect everything and then select those faces so it will come out. Lastly, of course, here I'm gonna change things. So if you see the head, I have not modeled it like Zach has in the video. The head, the base is the same, but here if you see, I've tried to emulate a bit of this. So there's a hat behind. Again, I've added my own bevel modifier and stuff because I love the bevel modifier, man. Why won't you? Again, I've tried to add a beard as well. Of course, there are a lot of changes I can keep doing to this to make it like I want to. And now I've reached this point in Blender that pretty much understand whatever there is happening. There is nothing like new. For example, taking cube bottom and scaling and positioning. I don't need to follow that exactly. Instead, work on my own things, and that will like start strengthening my problem solving skills a lot more. For the day, I will see you at 8 PM. कोरे कोरे सपने मेरे बरसों से थे कितने अधूरे, धीरे धीरे रंग सजा कर तूने कर दिए उनको पूरे। वादा है वादा, चाहेंगे तुमको, चाहत से ज़्यादा है वादा Vada. Good evening, this is July 18th, 2022, 20:20 PM. You don't say 20:20 PM, say 8:20 PM or 20:20. Okay, and I'll quickly go through how the day was. So I did 3 episodes of show 1. So show 2 submission prep I did not do because at 14:29 I tried to get into scripting to freshen up a bit, and it wasn't quite, in fact it was very stressful for the most part because I was trying to figure out this one thing, but at the end of the day it was good because I did figure out what you mean by the left and top property in sourcerectattime. What you need to understand here is, let's say if I take the rectangle tool and make a rectangle which is 400 by 400. Sourcerectattime.left is the distance between the anchor point of the layer to the leftmost bound of the layer contents. So that will be the width divided by 2. 400 by 2 should be 200. How did this happen? So you see the position here is not 0 0 for this particular. There is a rectangle inside here. Oh, because I did not double click up here. Okay, wait, let me start from the beginning. You want to double click here so that the anchor point of the content inside is 0, 0. You and make it 400. 400. Okay, so this is a 400 400. Now with this layer selected, if I press F5, yeah, the left and the top properties is negative 200 200. Now in this case, the layer contents is just this particular rectangular shape. The distance between this anchor point and this is going to be the width divided by 2, because from here, from the anchor point, we start 0, and this side we have positive x, and this side we have positive y. So when we go in this direction, that's negative x, and in this direction, that's negative y. So that's why this is negative 200, and top is the distance between the anchor point of the layer and the topmost bound of the layer. So this is negative 200. How I figured this out is, if you take this rectangular path 1, okay, it will open the contents. Now rectangle path 1, when you go into, okay, now this is 0 0 0 0. If I was to shift the position of this rectangle, which is the content of this layer, let's say in x by 200. Now when I select on the layer, the anchor point is still over here. Content of the layer has shifted forward. Distance between the anchor point of the layer and the leftmost bound of the contents of the layer is 0. So in this case, left should be 0, and it is 0. If I was to push this down in 200, even in y, now in this case, the anchor point of the layer is in this position, and the topmost bound and the leftmost bound both coincide at that particular position. So L and T are both going to be 0. So 0 0. So this is something that I figured out after a lot of trial and error. I had to go through a bunch of tutorials and like articles to figure things out, but the good life is good. So see you tomorrow. Peace.